Hello, all my Aquariuses. That just sounded funny. Saying Aquarius says. I don't know. It just, for whatever reason. It's funny because I don't know what videos I'm going to do. I have no idea. I just look at the chart, and the one that's like me is the one that's going to be done. So this is your home light security reading for the month of May for all Aquariuses. And the reason I'm laughing is because, like I said, I don't ever know what reading I'm going to do until I look down at the chart and it's like, nah, that's the one. So, and when I was looking down, I'm getting, I don't know what song it is. I'm showing my age. I'm so showing my age. But it's, we always hear of, it is the time of Aquarius. Maybe it is the song. I don't know. But what I'm hearing is in my head, Aquarius. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know. That's what's going on in my head. So it's just like dun dun and when I was drinking my drink when I started. Anyway, that has something to do with it because in a form for me that dun dun and had something to do with it has to do with your vocal cords. It has to do with changing okay, you guys have a lot going on with your throat chakra. I don't know how to put it this way because what I'm getting is like robotic energy, like dun, dun, but what it's saying is it's a change that's taking place within you all, and I don't mean to laugh. It's just the way that it's coming through for me, and my guides are just funny. I don't know how else to put it. My guides are funny. They know how my messed up head works. Anyway, all right. Let me explain what's going on for the month. Then I'll get into the cards, see what else Spirit has to tell me, and then get into the actual astrology. But on the 10th, we go Mercury retrograde. Mercury will be in Gemini when it goes retrograde. However, it will not stay in retrograde in Gemini. On the 22nd, it will retrograde back into Taurus. Now, Jupiter on the 10th also moves out of Pisces and moves into Aries, where it will remain, I believe, until October. Just giving you guys a little. Oh, my tattoo. I was like, what in the hell is going on with my shirt? So it will be moving into October until October into Aries, where it will retrograde back into Pisces. So neither one of these are remaining where they are, although Jupiter will be remaining here for several months. But it's going to take a major change in energy when Jupiter shifts. And it'll start building up. And we'll get into that when we get into the astrology. You have the eclipse that is taking place on the 16th in Scorpio, which we will discuss when we get there. On the 20th, the sun moves into Gemini. The 22nd, again, you have Mercury, which will be coming back into Taurus. On the 24th, Mars finally leaves Pisces and goes into its home of Aries, really pushing actions forward. So I'm trying to tell everybody you're starting to feel the energy of the messages coming in from the eclipse. However, that does not mean however, that does not mean that it's necessarily the prime energy for movement forward. It is still reflection with the eclipse. And I'll get back to that in a minute. Spirit is also saying, for a lot of you guys, Aquariuses, you all are coming into energies that you've been stubborn and inflexible about, but more from a fear-based energy of being afraid to speak your spiritual truth or acknowledge or discover your spiritual truth verbally outside of your mind. Sharing it with others, there's a fear of failure there that more or less I'm being told to tell you to get out of. Stop it. You're trying to be perfect, and ain't nobody perfect. We're all perfect, but yet none of us are perfect, in that spiritual sense. And There's a fear that you all have been holding on to, an anxiety that's made you very inflexible about it. I don't understand. Maybe you're afraid of what you hear from others because they just moved it up to my ear, or bitterness from others, suppressive energy from others, anger, frustration if you speak your truth. But fuck them. Fuck them. If you're holding on to repressed energy, then it's definitely just going to turn into resentment. So this is whether it's right or wrong, it's about overcoming a fear and anxiety and inflexibility of being able to express your truth. There's a lot going on with you with rules, walls, and boundaries because of your Saturn energy being here, which we're going to come back for unless they... I'm sorry, it's me getting interrupted. Yeah, there's grief, sorrow, shame, blame, anxiety that you're holding on to too much. What I call the coulda, shoulda, woulda, that supernatural highway, where I say, the heart and the higher self, or the heart and the head can't seem to get along, and it gets into the I coulda, shoulda, maybe I would have done that, or if I had done this, should I have said that, it would have been no. And that has part to do with the stubborn inflexibility, the fear or the anxiety of speaking that authority, or what you're hearing from what you may assume as authority. But they're saying, fuck that, more or less. They're saying you need to just take action. And even if you're falling on your face, at least that way it's a forward movement. At least that way it's being brought to the outer world. It's not just inside of you anymore. It's something that you have to bring out, and something you've got to work through. You got to bring to the surface, is what they just said for some of you. I don't know. It has to do with confidence and confusion for many of you. I don't know. Overcoming a fear, more or less. All right, but let me get back to where I was. On the 24th, Mars enters Aries, which is where action really will start to take forward movement more, because Mars in Pisces isn't very, action oriented. Really, it's not. It's just like a dud in the water. And on the 28th, Venus enters Taurus. Now, let me see what else. I'm sorry, I'm adjusting. They're saying, seriously, you need to start believing in your own self, in your own creativity, in your own magical existence, in your spirit. And I do get like, I'm sorry, that's my guys. They're like, 3 snaps in a circle, please. They're taking me back to In Living Color days. Anyway, they're like, I don't want to hear it. They're giving me the whole gay man, like, I don't want to hear it from you. You need to start stepping into your magic, step into your spirit, step into your creativity. I'm done. I don't know whose guide that is, but wow. I love it. Your heart chakra. It's your heart chakra with your throat. There's a blockage there, a fear and anxiety there of some form. Maybe from someone. Maybe from yourself. Maybe from not believing in yourself. But yeah, they're saying it's just done. I'm done. Anything else? Stop holding on to what weighs you down, because that's part of what they're done about. You're holding on to too much personal judgment. If not, it's family judgment. And I'm getting a lot of pain in the back of my neck. And this is where I always talk about the zeal point, or it's got many names. It's a chakra that many don't talk about, but it's technically the zeal point. It's also the mouth of God. I don't know. It has so many different names. And I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. I say it all the time. You'd think I'd learn it right, but I just don't. It's the bone right here at the back of the skull that goes into one of the brain lobes, occipital or something like that. It is the one that protects you when you're still asleep. It keeps you from psychic attack. And once you're awakened, it's up to you to know how to control that psychic energy. So it makes it easier for you to be psychically attacked. What it is that it connects to the lower vibration as well as the higher vibration. And unfortunately, it's easier to always connect with the lower vibration. And that lower vibration, all those anxieties, those doubts, those worries, the suppression, is often an easy energy for that zeal point chakra to get caught in negative energy and start bringing forward those headaches, which is technically a psychic headache, from the back of the head. So this is saying really the main thing for you to get out of is your own way, your own thinking, your own analyses, or inner evaluation of what's going on in your head, but you're not necessarily speaking it, of where you're down talking the subject and you're allowing the negativity to come in, or at least for whoever this is for. And maybe you're just assuming you'll hear more negative thinking. Either way, it's also affecting the jaw, the throat chakra in general. But this is all part of why they're saying, no, get out of this thinking process, because this thinking process brings in the lower vibrations, brings in the blocking. And it's up to you to set the boundaries. Here's the wall, I won't have it. Here's the wall, I won't have it, is what I'm getting. I won't have it. I'm a creative. I'm a spiritual, magical being. I am light, and I don't have to accept this. No, won't have it. This is what I'm getting. You're going to get a lot more into this when I get into the astrology, but a lot of this also has to do with overcoming frustration and anger and insecurities. Some of it might have to do with feeling a little rejected. Gonna have me back now? Or is there somewhere else we need to go? They're saying stop being so hard on your own personal judgment and don't worry about family judgment, more or less. Okay, are we good? You definitely need to do some work on the heart chakra for some of you, along with, I would say, the heart chakra, and it's the zeal point, honestly. But if you don't know how to do work on the zeal point, then you're going to want to work on like the third eye and the crown. It's balancing it, because that supernatural highway is going like this instead of a nice healthy flow. And it has a lot to do with Mercury going retrograde tomorrow as well. Plus, Mercury's been in shadow. So, all right, let's see. Hold on one second. I forgot to put some cards away, and I need to sit them over here so I can find out who I'm supposed to be reading from. As I get into that, I'm going to give them a second to bring that energy up for me. And before I do, let me take just a moment, sorry, to slow things down, but since I need them to work that out. I want to throw out at you guys. Also, I have my Etsy shop, which is LSF Sanctuary LLC. And with us going Mercury retrograde, I have a retrograde kit, which is great for Mercury, but for any of the planets. And I always tell everybody that just because the planets are or aren't in retrograde don't mean that you are or aren't. And the way that I created these kits, all of these oils and so forth, I did it with spirit. It wasn't me creating them. I let them tell me what has to go in them. And I have fulgurite in every single one of my essential oils, which is lightning. It's part of my signature, is where lightning is struck the sand, soil, or the rock. And I break it up and I put it in every single one of my essential oils, which is bringing you a form of source energy. It is bringing you 5D energy and higher. It helps with the Kundalini. It helps with your connection with spirit as well as with yourself and with others. There's so many great things that fulgurite does. And then I mix it with the other crystals and whatever spirit told me. Mercury is one of the oils I put in these kits. And for me, Mercury is all about communication. So these oils were designed, the Mercury oil was designed in this kit to be all about self-love, self-acceptance, self-assurance, and helping you to overcome that hump to find your liberation by knowing where you're not. So it helps you come back into that power. I also have Rahu in this kit, and Rahu is, helping you break the patterns. It's designed to help bring healthy karma to you, to help break the patterns and steer you in a new direction. While I have a spray that goes with these two oils, and it is more or less designed to be clarity. It's the unfunk the fuzz that happens during the retrograde, the confusion. And I put them all together. And like I said, you can find it at my Etsy shop, LSF Sanctuary LLC. But all of my oils, because I have them for cord cutting, I have them for, unchaining, I have them for euphoric energy, I have them for just about anything, soul source energy. All of these things are at my Etsy shop along with all the other stuff that I make. Every oil, it comes with fulgurite in it as well as baths. So look it up, and it is LSF Sanctuary LLC. Now with me going there, let's see. Aquarius. See, they're still singing it. Let me grab these two cards. These are the two decks that are coming up for you. What does Aquarius need to hear for the month of May before we get into astrology? Spirit's giving you a hard time again. They're telling you to stop overanalyzing yourself, your frustration and anger, because it just lowers your vibrational frequency. Stop being so hard on yourself. In a form, that is a way of speaking badly to you. So stop it. Well, this is influence. It's funny, this is the card that came out for the last group too. This is finding a fresh, new maturity within your creativity, within your relationship with yourself as well as with others. This is a joyful lake. It is pleasurable. It is sexual expressive as well. It is keeping still in the manifestation and enduring rest. But it is to open, but with a limit. This is courtship. It is attraction. It is affection. It is stimulating connection. So this is, it's fifth house for me. This is, what makes you tick? What do you enjoy? What makes you tick? Where is life pleasurable? Where do you find the enjoyment? And are the people that you're surrounding yourself with getting into the same magical influence as you? getting into the same magical intoxication of life as you. This is allowing your inner child to play with like-minded people and allowing it to grow and be open-minded enough to grow. So, I mean, that really is, it's a good thing. It's telling you, stop being so hard on yourself, play some, but allow the magic in. Limitations. And the card even said before that, to a limit. This is self-discipline in this area. Practice. It is also self-respect. It is introspection, ritual, building up of energy. It is the risk in opening up. It is allowing you to find that like-minded spiritual individuals that are willing to grow with you, willing to play with you, and enjoy the activity, but taking the time to really learn what this means. Taking the time to learn what this means, allowing the new energy to come in. It is a moment of limitations and allowing what you don't know to show you another direction. Taking a chance. So let's see what the other cards have to say. What does Aquarius need to hear for the month of May? Pluto. Death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, and regeneration. It is time for change, buddy. It's time for transformation. It's time to, like I said, you have a lot of transformation going on. These eclipses are hitting you hard. It is, though I walk through the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. There is nothing but good coming for you if you're willing to take that chance. If you're willing to step out of control, of having control, and allowing, the new thing to come forward. What else does Aquarius need to hear? What else does Aquarius need to hear? Spirit's going, they need to hear to take some freaking action. I'm sorry to laugh. It's just the way that they said it. Take action, trust in your psychic abilities, trust in yourself. Jupiter returns. Your power and your abundance is coming. Your power, your benefits, your return energy, everything is coming. It's just, it's not coming as fast as you may want it, but it is. And like I said, you got Jupiter also that's moving tomorrow, which is going to bring solar eclipse, which is bringing in, you're going through a whole new shift in resurrecting you. Is what's really happening. You're going into a shift of resurrecting you. It's a transformational change. Stop getting in your way. Allow it to happen. Allow it to happen. Go in, do some exploratory work, do some self-love work, acknowledging where you aren't loving yourself in the proper ways so that you can come into this new expression. And what is it? Fire element, desire. What do you desire? Where do you want your life to go? Are you really, in tune with checking out these ideas? Are you taking action? Fire is also all about taking action. It is an explosive, sexual, creative energy. So again, Spirit's constantly saying it's time to do it. Now, when we get into your astrology, I'm going to move my notes around here and make it easier for me. You're getting a little bit more into your unconscious energies, your unconscious mind. It is your introverted self of where you're not as sociable. It is your personal identification. It is your beliefs that support your free will. It is your more private areas that make you more insecure and uncomfortable. Whoa. Yeah, you're really getting into your more private areas you're insecure and uncomfortable areas of what you don't even want to acknowledge within yourself. Sorry, I'm getting a whole lot of frequencies. And exploring why you view it that way. And exploring that there's no shame in who and what you are, but apparently there's some healing that needs to come because of insecurities that make you hold on to, why you keep them private and what you don't like to share with the world, which is part of you not exploring yourself all the way, nor giving yourself the proper full nourishment, love, and attention. So you're exploring a lot of this energy at this time during these eclipses. So it took me a minute because they about knocked my ears right out. Okay, let me pull up the astrology. I always start with where the sun is. Wherever the sun is technically the house that you are moving through. I know on a universal level, your sun may be, you may be an Aquarius sun, but on a universal level, wherever the sun is technically the energy you are walking through at the time. And for you, this is your 4th house and about to enter into your 5th house. You've been in your 4th house for a while because we're almost we're getting closer to the end of it being in Taurus. The sun actually moves into Gemini on the 20th. But until the 20th, it's still your 4th house, then it moves into your 5th. And this is the areas of your inner emotional security. You can't make this shit up. Okay? It is the home. It is the vessel. It's not just the home. It's the vessel. It is the roots of who and what you are, what made you what you are, as well as who and what you will return to. It is your karmic lessons being learned. It is your social and personal foundation by getting to the roots of who and what you are. It is where your inner emotional security is either created or damaged the most, and it needs to be healed so that it is actually coming into its power. And like I said, it's inner emotional security. And then it's going to be moving into the 5th house, which is in Gemini for you. But this is also moving into your creative expression. And I mean, this is just what Spirit's been saying the whole time. This is trusting in who you are, believing in who you are, loving who you are, accepting who you are, allowing your expressive ideas. Expressive energy is the pursuit of pleasure. It's not just how you speak or what you think or what you hear. It's an artist expresses themselves through their art, whether it's painting, poetry, music, sports. So what is it that you dig? What is it that you enjoy? What is it that makes you happy to be the magical creature that you are? This is all part of the expression of allowing yourself to accept that, love that, and to explore more of that within yourself, bringing inner emotional security to you by knowing you better. Okay? Now, the thing is, the sun is also in Taurus. So is Uranus right now. So is the North Node. So this is not just a little message. This is a big message. It's also been in reflection to where that last eclipse was versus, it was where the last eclipse was, the solar eclipse, versus where the lunar eclipse is about to take place with Scorpio, directly across. So this is speaking, and when we get to the eclipse, I'll talk more about that directly, but this is speaking about you coming into that security truthfully, not just for a moment, not just for a moment of ecstasy. I like to use it as, like, a girlfriend of mine uses chocolate as, you get to have a bite of chocolate and it's just yummy, it's glorious, it's ecstasy for a moment. and then it's gone. So where are you only exploring yourself enough to find the ecstasy, the true spirit, the true soul, the true expression of yourself, but just enough to get by, versus truly coming into security, illuminating that violet flame from within, believing in its independence, your individuality, uniqueness, freedom, showing the world as well as yourself just how good you are, just how glorious you are, just how important you are, just how valued you are. Are you valuing yourself? Are you giving yourself that pat on the back? Are you giving yourself the chance to explore it? Because this is a big key here. If you aren't in your power, I've been saying it for many of years now, someone else will be. And this is saying, if you don't want to be ran over, you don't want to be, run over like a truck driver. Somebody else's opinions always putting you down, telling you that, they know more than you or that they're capable. And then you get frustrated and mad. This is saying, no, hold your ground. You know who you are. You know your power. Claim it. Show yourself and the world by getting into your inner emotional security, trusting in it, believing in it, breathing fire back into it, claiming it, and show not just the world, but yourself how uniquely important you are here. That is coming back into your security and allowing you to believe in you again. Taking it from where you doubt yourself to no longer doubting yourself, believing in yourself, and getting past some of those inner private fear, anxiety, inner private, personal areas that you're afraid to show the world that you know something, that you believe, that you are, that you have the ability. This is stepping in that power, not just for the world, but more importantly for you, and then showing the world. Because that's where confidence comes from believing in self, finding that soul shine from within and holding on to it, not just for a moment of ecstasy, but knowing nobody can take that light away from you unless you choose to misplace it. So call it back and hold on to that sucker like nobody's business and allow it to take you everywhere that it needs to, because you have so much to give. All right. That's pretty much explaining your North Node, your Sun, and your Uranus. That is all in your Taurus. Now, as it moves into Gemini, we're moving into Mercury retrograde. We're moving into Mercury retrograde, which is where it's going to start making you doubt yourself and question yourself even more. Because Mercury in retrograde is no longer communicating outwardly. It's all up in your head, getting too much conversation going on, jibber jabber of questioning your pursuit of pleasure, your actual ability to express yourself, your ability to believe in what you're interested in, or to follow through with, because now you start doubting it, which then takes you back to doubting your inner emotional security. So this is saying stop. This is realizing when your head is talking too much shit because you're not actually communicating outwardly. That's just ego jibber jabbering. And that had a lot to do with what they were saying is going on here in this whole zeal point energy, the ears, nose, throat. Mercury retrograde right now coming in Gemini, and then it's going to move back into your Taurus, is all questioning your beliefs in your own self, of your inner emotional security, as well as your expression and your value of yourself and what you do and what you believe and what you think others think. That's exactly it. What you think others think. Fuck what others think. You have to live with you. Nobody else has to live with you. You're the only one who can't get away from you. You have to understand who you are. You have to love who you are. You have to be able to express and understand it. But you also have to understand when Mercury goes retrograde, it communicates too much on the negative just within ourselves, making us doubt ourselves. There's a difference. Understand where the doubt is helping you to understand where you're not nurturing yourself, where you're neglecting issues within the security, within this creative nature, versus where it's gone overboard and now it's working against you. Know when to say when. Know when to tell it to shut up, versus has it taken you just enough to acknowledge where you need to be more supportive for yourself, versus what you think everybody else thinks, because you don't really know what everybody else thinks. That's just your Mercury retrograde jibber jabbering. Now, you have your 6th house is where your Lilith is, as well as Sirius is more or less coming into. Sirius is nurturing or neglecting, and it's speaking to you technically in that 5th house of the creativity, but it is really close to the energy of Lilith, which is in your 6th house. So this energy is combining, all right? And the 6th house is your daily routines. And I say this every day. There's nothing mundane about the mundane. The only reason it's mundane is because you do it so much, so repetitively, you overlook it. And so this is saying between the self-expression, your inner pleasure, your inner creativity, your inner expression, and your daily routines, the mundane, the people, places, and things of energies that you consume also consume you. Lilith here is not in her most powerful energy. She is not in her most powerful stand on her own security in the mundane task and being able to strengthen. She's more submissive here. So this is asking you, be boldly, impressively independent. Because the only way to nurture yourself is to impress yourself, is to impress your own soul self and not need approval from the others, because it's submissive energy is what happens here in this Lilith energy. She becomes more submissive, more follow the leader in the mundane tasks of people, places, and things of energies. This is not time for you to follow the leader. This is time for you to become a leader, to show your unique qualities. But you can't do that unless you believe in yourself. So this is questioning this energy right now as you go through these eclipses, and you go all the way up until I'd say probably around the 20th, 24th, when Mars moves into Aries. Because you're kind of in a standstill. We all are. This energy is kind of going, making us reevaluate. And this is saying, really look at where you're nurturing your communication with yourself, your self-love, your self-acceptance, and all of this, where you're neglecting it, versus where it's easier to be more submissive, more follow the leader, than to become the leader and take charge. That has a lot to do with what's going on. And you're going to be noticing that all freaking month long. Now, your 10th house is where this eclipse is taking place. The outer world, the outer authority. It's your honor, your reputation, your social foundation. It's also your financial discovery. It's your honor, reputation, prestige, professional world, your duty, your authority. And where are you having authority versus follow the leader? It's funny how these things all have a way of working out. The 10th house for you is being able to transform, being able to transmutate, being able to take the direction of what the outer world says and manipulate it into working for you. And knowing how to do that. That was their words, not mine. Because I was going to go more with, it's that that devil card and knowing where desire works for you versus where it's ultimately becoming a self-sacrifice, self-sabotage, knowing where that line is. But they're saying learn how to use it to manipulate the energy to work for you by standing in your power and bringing that authority back to you. And bringing your honor, your reputation, your prestige back to you by standing in that power, bringing you all the way back to your inner emotional security. This is part of what's going to be happening because, like I said, it's going on directly across from your fourth house. So if you're not standing in your power, you're ultimately giving your power to someone else for you to follow the leader. This is definitely a most impressive time for you to set that structure, to build those rules, walls, and boundaries, to redirect from the heart and soul and build the light from within so that it can't be taken away, to illuminate it and shine it by knowing who you are and expressing it and no more doubting. That's actually a glorious energy for you. But you have to believe in yourself. You've got to understand where to shut up that inner communication. Now you have the only thing left. The only thing left for you is Pluto, which was one of your cards, which is your 12th house, at the butt end of its energy. And like I said, I believe Pluto is going to be here for technically another 2 years, but I believe it moves out into your first house for a little while. And then we'll retrograde back into Pluto. And I mean, back into Capricorn. And this is setting the foundation. Though I walk through the shadow of death, I fear no evil. You are shedding a part of you that's needed to be shed. Letting go of a part of you that's no longer needed. It is bringing healing to the self-sabotage. Bringing healing to the parts of you that you didn't know existed because you wouldn't shine enough light on it. It's bringing healing to your own self-deception and coming back into your power. It's no more follow the leader. It's time for you to become the leader. I love you guys. I see you next month. Bye.